So Gaza could face another famine, this according to the Guardian. Israel has closed all crossings into Gaza indefinitely when it attacked Iran, imposing a siege that has already pushed up food prices and threatens to plunge 2 million people into a new hunger crisis. After more than 2 years of war, and with Israeli forces in control of about 60% of the territory, almost all Gaza's food must be brought in. Humanitarian groups feeding much of the population say the supplies they had on Saturday when the war began will only last a few more days. If the border stays closed, World Central Kitchen will run out of the food this week, said the organization's founder and chief, Jose Andres, in a post on social media. We are cooking 1 million hot meals a day. We need food deliveries every day. One international food security expert said there was a week's supply of fresh food in Gaza. Community bakeries that supply some of the most vulnerable people only have enough flour for about 10 days of bread, and there are around 2 weeks of aid parcels. Israel imposed a total siege on Gaza last spring, followed by extreme restrictions on food shipments. Together, they caused a famine last summer. So this isn't the first time this has happened. There's more of the story that you can read, but these are intended consequences of Trump's war with Iran. The Gazan people are once again having to live through complete and utter inhumane conditions and just a complete and utter lack for their humanity, a complete and utter lack of their rights to be able to live and breathe and eat just like the rest of us. It's really disgusting. And it's a good thing that we get coverage like this because, if we didn't, none of us would know what was going on. And the story goes on trying to talk about how there were a lot of people killed, um, because all of the different food spots are in Israeli controlled areas, and people are trying to get there and they get killed just trying to get food, and food prices have tripled. A sack of flour is 100 shekels now. Used to be only 30 shekels. This is this is definitely an intended consequence. And people talk about how, technically they're under ceasefire and stuff like that, but there's no ceasefire. There's never been a ceasefire. Israel still continues to kill. If it's not with weapons, it's with blockades like this. And Donald Trump and his administration are totally cool with that, as they're totally cool with every other humanitarian violation they've induced over the last year. And it's just it's terrible. And once again, the Gazan people are an after to the afterthought when it comes to actual policy, when it comes to military decisions, when it comes to human rights violations. This has been a problem for so long, and it's only getting worse. And Benjamin Netanyahu is going to continue to fuel his apocalyptic vision, And Trump and his focus on Iran was the perfect way for him to do that. And the people of Gaza are paying for it once again. And it's it's just awful. There was a photograph at the beginning of this story of this 2-year-old Gazan child who was just so skinny, so malnourished. It breaks your heart, because people need food to live. Children need food to grow up and be happy and go to school and be educated, and that's not happening. And I hope we can all do our part to try to help, donating to food aid projects or just highlighting it like I'm trying to do right now. Because this shit needs to fucking stop, and it needs to stop now. Should have stopped yesterday, but this is where we are, unfortunately. At any rate, I appreciate you listening or watching, whatever you do, and if you can, I'd really appreciate if you liked and subscribed if you enjoy this content. Um, Thanks for watching.